It's been 28 days since I started the carnivore diet, and I think I might have just hit a wall. Before I talk about that, let me talk about my previous 3 weeks of progress that I made. Over the first 21 days, I lost 11 pounds, which isn't too bad considering I'm sticking to about 2,500 calories a day. There are 6 daily goals that I aim for, like rules that I kind of abide by. You can see those on the other side of the screen. Typically, in the previous weeks, I've always had one day that I missed. This week's no different. Spoiler. I selected those 6 goals because I think those will help me have long-term success and get to the point where I want to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now. So you might be asking, what wall? What wall are you talking about? Like, what did you? I haven't heard of the carnivore wall. So it hasn't really been the carnivore wall or anything. It's more the motivation wall, right? I think we all started January 1st with the new year, new me, right? We all had that energy. So yeah, like we all just know motivation fades. It depends on what's motivating you, how you're feeling a given day, right? For whatever reason, what was ever driving you forward, one day might not be there the next. And for instance, like where I hit my wall was Saturday night. I like going to the gym later in the evening. And on Saturday, I had zero desire to go to the gym. And, it was a really good night. I went out to dinner. I went to a pizza place and I didn't eat pizza. I just ordered wings. That was it. And I was like, oh, hey, didn't cheat here. Had motivation to not cheat on the diet there. I had a blast talking to some people from different states that came here on a recruitment trip. That was really great getting to talk to new people. But by the time I got home, I just wanted to sit down, watch a movie with my dogs or something. And did not want to sit there, get into my gym clothes, get in my car, drive to the gym, and get a workout in. That just wasn't there. What didn't seem like it was in the cards for me. And as I'm sitting there, hoping motivation was going to come and get me, it didn't. But then I was like, you know what? Over these past couple weeks, we built up a little bit of discipline. Right, we've made a lot of good choices. We built a lot of forward momentum, and that was enough for me to say, you know what, let's just go in. Let's just go and walk through the door. Just start going through our warm up and see what happens. And so I went there. Did my little bit of walking on the treadmill, my different banded warm ups, and yeah, it was still kind of flat. Put on some intense music to see if that would get me jacked up. And no, it just wasn't there. I ended up just doing a lot of ankle mobility exercises. I still have some mobility, flexibility issues with the ankle, my surgically repaired ankle, and did a lot of what are they called? Farmer's carries. I like doing heavy farmer's carries or suitcase carries rather in this case. And typically I do those in the beginning and then I start doing other things and it just wasn't there. But I was like, you know what? I've been here for about a half hour now, 45 minutes. We didn't get a huge sweat going. We didn't get a great workout, but you know what? We did something, right? We didn't just lose. I went and did some work that I probably wouldn't normally do. And, I had to accept that as a win. So yeah, I'm not proud of that workout per se, but I am proud of the fact that I went in to do something when I really didn't want to. And that's the thing. You can't always count on motivation, but you can count on discipline, to be there if you've taken the time to build it. And I'm still building. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Discipline by any means. And just real quick, guys, somebody told me that on the last video, the like and subscribe buttons weren't working. Think you can test those out? Okay, shamelessly, I'll go back to the content. So yeah, like I said, I'm not Mr. Discipline by no means. I'm not Jocko Willink who wakes up at 4:00 in the morning and works out, or David Goggins who goes on these, I think it's like he runs 10 miles a day minimum. So I'll admit this week I did slip on my diet for the slightest little slip, and I'll explain it. So my department had a recruitment visit this week, so they flew in a bunch of people, and they're putting out the spreads for them. The morning there's bagels and donuts. At lunch there was pizza. They're taking them out to certain restaurants, and I looked at the agenda and was like, I want to be polite, meet these people, but at the same time I'm not going to go to a pizza lunch. Like, that's just I'm setting myself up to lose there. So the one dinner I had originally signed up to go to was the one that was like at this like steakhouse. I was like, all right, cool. Like that's gonna okay. If I avoided the carb traps on all these other things, surely I'm not gonna slip up at the steakhouse. And yeah, it happened. but it wasn't fully my fault. Now I'm not dismissing that I messed up, but you know, I ordered my steak, and it's kind of, you know, cue the Jim Carrey. I didn't even see it coming. I ordered the steak, and then she asked me for the sides, and I was like, it's gonna be weird if I just say the steak. So I was like, just give me the double asparagus. So I was like, even if I have one or two, like that's asparagus. Come on. And when the waitress brought out my steak, it was on this wonderful bed of mashed potatoes, and smelled it. And I looked at it, and I was like, like I didn't want to say anything. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't charge you extra. They just already set up the plate that way." And I didn't want to be like rude, but like, no, I didn't order this. I was like, we had a big enough party there. I was like, okay, like I'm not. It was a weird spot to be in, and I was like, okay. And yeah, you know what? I had a couple of the asparagus spears. I did have a couple forks of the mashed potatoes. I'm only human. Now, if I wanted to build a defense, I'll say like I was just eating the mashed potatoes that touched the steak because maybe it took some of the essence away from my steak. But I know that's not the case. But yeah, I slipped up. But you know what? I didn't eat the truffle fries that the table ordered. I didn't eat any of those appetizers. I didn't go out for ice cream with the rest of the people, the rest of the grad students from the department. So, you know, I slipped, but I didn't completely fall. And I think that's the thing. And, you know, but even when I got home that day, I was like, you know what, man, I started watching some TV or a movie or TV or something. I was like, man, some popcorn sounds good. And I was like, you know what, I already messed up. And I already took an L for the day. But I had to sit there and go like, no, we're just bored. That's what it is. We're just bored. No, we're not gonna completely fall. You know, so that's the thing. When you slip up, it's gonna happen. I think we have to realize, you know, we're not gonna be perfect. We're not robots. But when you do slip, it doesn't need to be a fall, right? No, you don't have to do like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna start over. Let's just start tomorrow. The new diet starts over tomorrow. No, you mess up on a meal, you mess up on a meal. Doesn't have to be the day. And yeah, that was pretty tough for me to, you know, sit there and compartmentalize that one slip up. But, you know, once I did it, and I sat there just watching the movie, started drinking some water, and I was like, you know what, like, yeah, I didn't need the popcorn. And I was happy with that decision for sure. So yeah, this week definitely had some upsides to it, some downsides to it, some challenges. But you know, life's gonna throw those at us. So here's my week 4 results. 2-pound loss. Again, with the amount of calories I take in, I'm fairly happy. 2 to 3 pounds is what I kind of expect at this point. That puts us at a total of 13 pounds over 28 days. Again, I'm counting that slip up on the diet as an L for that day. So again, I haven't had a perfect week. 6 out of 7 again for hitting my goals. Blood pressure came in pretty low. It was, let's see, 127 over 72. Again, I'm usually about 130 over 80 plus or minus 5, so right where we'd expect it to be. Here's a bonus that happened. I hit a personal record on my rowing machine. I have a Concept 2 rower, and I have the drag factor like at 145. And in a 2-kilometer row, I was able to get that done at 8 minutes and 22 seconds, which in the past, my previous time before the injury was 8:36 or 8:37. So it's about a 15-second increase. I thought I was going to get my 8-minute record. I was rowing. I hit minute 4, and I was like, man, minute 4, I just cleared 1 kilometer. I'm on pace. I always save a kick for the last minute. And I started rowing, and by the time I hit minute 5, my breathing was out of whack. The rhythm that I had for those first 4 minutes just wasn't holding up. And I was like, oh man, if I try to keep up this pace, I'm going to keel over at 6.5 minutes. So I was like, you know what, let me downshift the gear. let's just settle for getting a PR here. And yeah, so I got the 8:22. I will get that 8-minute 2 kilometer row. I'm gonna get that. I think sooner than later. I think I'll probably get it before May. So my changes for this upcoming week, for week 5, my 2 kilometer row, rather than just being under 9 minutes, I'm going to put that as a goal to get that done every day under 8:45. And you might say, Gary, you just said you did an 8:22. I was in the zone. All right. So I'm aiming for 8:45. That's not going to be super easy for me, but it's doable. Bumping it up from 14 minutes to 15 minutes of rowing every morning. And for that, I'm going to aim to get 3.4 kilometers done. I'm going to put on the screen right now what I did this morning. So on Monday the 29th, what I got done. And you can see I got over 3.4 in 15 minutes. And that's a pretty spicy pace for me right now. So I'm really going to have to stay leaned in up until like the last 15 or 20 seconds. So that's going to keep me, challenging. I don't get to just coast in, because last week what I had, I think I had 3K in 14 minutes. That was too easy. It really was. I was setting a personal in my head. I think I did over. I said, let's try for 3.1, but I know on paper I think I put just 3.0. That's what I told you guys. But every week every day I was able to get over a 3.1, and so yeah, going for 3.4 in 15 minutes. This week I'll be getting blood work done. So last time I got blood work done, I believe was in July or August, which I mean, ideally I would have got it done right December 31st or something, so that way we can see exactly what happened in this time window. I'm not doing the best science here, but we'll be able to see if any changes have happened. I can tell you I ate like crap, really poorly, October, November, December. So we'll see where this compares with the blood work I got done in, I believe it was July. And at that point, that's when I was still recovering from an injury. I was eating very, very healthy. I was ordering those pre-ordered the meal company Factor. I was using their meals, but I was only eating like 1,500 calories a day because I was very limited in how much I was able to move around. So we'll see what happened there. Yeah, so that'll be reported next week. And thank you guys so much. Our last video hit over 600 views, which beat my old record on a video by like 150 views. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And look forward to talking to you guys next time. And remember, it's not that easy, but it is that simple. So keep getting after it, guys. See you around.